WagerTalk and Sports Memo customers love $9 Mondays, where each package is just $9. For a limited time from June 1st until June 7th, we're offering a 30-day all-access pass from your favorite handicapper for $210. That's only $7 per day. This special includes all daily plays from your favorite handicapper every day for 30 days, including 5% plays normally priced at $39 alone. Use coupon code June30, good for multiple uses at WagerTalk and Sports Memo. Once you sign up, you'll get every play sent to you as soon as they post it.
Welcome, everybody, to Wager Talk Today. It is Monday, June 6th. We have a new week in front of us and a week without Teddy. Yes. I'm Lawrence Presman. He's Steve Merrill. And the bots are back, Steve. They were all over puck time, man. I don't know, man. We just keep getting these bots, these trying to talk our amazing listeners into sex or something. I don't know. Naked, hot girls. Anyway, this, my friend, is the world's greatest daily sports betting show, and we got a big one for you. Bryan Leonard starting right at the beginning. He's going to look at the Diamondbacks and Reds game, the Astros and the Seattle game. We got Jimmy Adams coming on. He, too, is going to look at the Diamondbacks and the Reds game, and the Blue Jays and Royals. And, of course, we end every Monday show with Arthur DiCesare. Steve, thanks for filling in for Teddy, or really, he fills in for you, just more.
Well, first of all, I thought I was just doing $9 Monday. I didn't know this was a one-week gig, but I'm glad to be in all week for Teddy. No, all joking aside, I love to be here, Prez. You know I love working with you. I'm excited. By the way, I think Bitcoin got the memo. It closed below 30,000 on Friday, and now it's at 31,000 as we do the show together. It just can't help but trade in this channel for the last 3 weeks that we keep referencing. And, yeah, great show here. Got a lot of baseball the next couple of days, right? NBA is spreading things out big time. 2 days off, 2 days off, 2 days off. So they'll be on again Wednesday, but a lot of baseball in the meantime. And some NHL, I hear, as well.
Yeah, a game every night, pretty much. Steve, yeah, Bitcoin's fascinating right now. That's for sure. You know, it sneaks below 30. It jumps above. It sneaks below. I mean, right now, I think it's 31 and change, give or take.
Yep.
That means shit. It'd be 29 and by the end of the show. Anyway,
29
Joey
last night
86.
when it opened.
Yeah. Joey 86, one of our listeners, writes, I lay odds that Prez owns those. Joey, I take that as a total compliment. I think it's genius. As a savvy, smart, world-class businessman in my own head, that would be something I would do. But alas, I've lost my ambition. I've lost my drive. All I have now is the will to survive. Those bots aren't mine. And I am sure Teddy is enjoying not having to deal with the Prez this week as well, Jake Couples. Steve, what did you learn in the wonderful world of sports betting?
Well, look, always learn a lot, but I want to talk about NBA Finals Game 2 last night because, once again, no basketball till Wednesday. We have baseball the next 2 days, some NHL, as you mentioned. But we can start looking ahead to Game 3. And, of course, we will have NBA tip-off on today at 4:15 Eastern to do a full half-hour recap of Game 2. Then I'll be back on Wednesday's show here on the network to talk in-depth on Game 3. We're also going to have Tony Finn on Wednesday here on Wager Talk Today. He's going to cover Game 3 as well. So we'll have a lot of NBA talk coming up the next couple of days, but while it's fresh, still want to recap Game 2. And, Celtics got off to a fast start last night. It was looking like they might win both on the road. They were down by just 2 at the half, but then a monster third quarter. Golden State outscores them by 21. And keep in mind, Golden State was up by 12 after the third quarter in Game 1 as well. Boston had that monster fourth quarter. So this has really been the tale of just 2 quarters, one for each team so far, and it's a 1-1 series. But what jumps out to me, though, is the adjusted series price. Golden State was minus 160 to win the series. They were around minus 160 for Game 1 as about a 3.5-point favorite. And then they lose outright. Boston goes to about a minus 160 favorite going into Game 2 as a 3.5, 4-point dog. Now the series is tied. Theoretically, Boston has home court advantage now. It's a best of 5, and Boston gets 3 of the next 4 at home. Yet the series is pick 'em. And if you start doing the math, it doesn't make a ton of sense to me because Boston's a 3.5-point favorite in game 3. They were a 3.5-point dog in game 1. I think the odds makers and the public, and I agree, this is a pretty close series. I think you could say a neutral court is almost a pick 'em to -1 or +1 either way. So I understand why it's in the series price, but if Boston has home court 3 out of 5, and they're theoretically as good, maybe a point less than Golden State, I mean, what are your thoughts, Prez? Do you think that Boston should still be favored in this series, especially heading home now?
I don't know, man. Like I hung the NBA betting up a couple of weeks ago. I'm barely following this right now. I did have a personal bet on Golden State last night, and I covered. But honestly, Steve, if you ask me, man, I think if any one of those teams, and I haven't even looked, but if any one of those two teams is plus 130 or more, I'm taking the dog. I think these are very evenly matched teams. I think you have a veteran-laden Golden State team. I think ultimately I'm going to go look right now. Future bet. Yeah, they're both -1. There's no bet there, dude. Like, -110 each? No, not touching that. You know, I would consider betting the team that loses in game 3, though.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, I think the zigzag is going to work pretty well. I mean, obviously, it's worked so far here. I'll tell you what, speaking of the zigzag, Prez, one other thing I wanted to mention is I don't do a lot with player props during the regular season, but I looked at them in depth on the show on Friday on the NBA tip-off show for game 2, and then I did a weekend video. I did a fade the public NBA style. And by the way, public was heavy on Golden State in game 1. They obviously did not work out for them. They were back on Golden State in game 2, so I think you're right. They were playing that zigzag angle, and it did work for them. We'll see where they fall here for game 3 with a couple days to go. But the zigzag also works extremely well with player props. And last night was a textbook example of that. Jason Tatum was odds-on favorite to be the highest scorer in this series when it began at -110. He was supposed to be the highest scorer. He was 3 for 17 in game 1. Terrible shooting performance. He came back. His over-under was 26.5 last night. He squeaked over it with 28, but he had 21 early in mid-second quarter. He had 21. So he bounced back with a monster game. With that said, he was still -36 plus minus. I believe that was the worst of his career. You know, so Boston has some upside maybe based on that. But a guy I mentioned in the video to regress, he was my free play on Friday's show, was Al Horford under 11.5. He was 6 for 8 from 3 in the first game, had 26 points, just monster performance. This guy barely scored last night, had 2 points, stayed under the 11.5. So I do think you can look for the zigzag, especially on player props going forward. In fact, 3 Boston Celtics starters had exactly 2 points last night. Tatum did go over, as I mentioned. He carried the load. As far as Golden State, real quick, Klay Thompson has been below average. He was just 1 for 8 from 3. They still won the game by 19. He only had 11 points. Be careful with him, though. You know, he's coming back off the injury this year. He relies on getting open around the arc, getting a quick shot off, and it looks like Boston might be clamping down on his ability to do that. So although the zigzag props have worked pretty well so far, Thompson's a guy I'm keeping a close eye on because he's underperformed, but that could be a matchup issue that we have to make sure isn't going to carry over game to game.
Steve Merrill, Steve, you and the word real quick just doesn't happen.
I have the Rob Vino dictionary here, which was edited by Marco D'Angelo, and I looked up the word real quick, and it said 2 minutes
and studied by Adam Trigger. Yeah. Man, if I had Marco and Adam Trigger and Rob Vino on the same show, it would be a 2-hour show with the same info you'd get in 1 hour. Bryan Leonard joining us, and this man is not loquacious. How are you, my friend?
I'll have to look that one up, but I believe it means that I don't speak a lot. Yeah, everything's going great. Like being back on the show, and Teddy gets a week off. I'm sure that's enjoyable for Teddy as well as you, Prez, as you don't get to fight with anybody, which is why you probably had me on the show today, so we can disagree with something.
Yeah, I'm not fighting with you. And Brian, if people watch this show carefully, I'm the one on vacation this week, not Teddy. I never fight with Teddy. You can literally see Teddy's eyes pop out of his head when he thinks I say something wrong. I mean, it's like he gets a facial boner over that nonsense and jumps down my throat. Okay, we got to move on.
Wait a minute. You just said something about a boner and jumping down your throat in the same line. I hope they tape that and we can put that on future episodes.
Yes.
Pinocchio when he
There
said
you
that.
go.
The first
Anyway,
thing I
I'm
thought of.
deep into the book by Jack Carr, In the Blood. Fifth book in the James Reese series. Bri, do you read ever? Are you a reader?
I'm not a reader of fiction. I'm a reader of nonfiction. A lot of gambling books. I'm a big rock music guy, heavy metal music guy, so I read a lot of biographies, autobiographies. But no, I've not been into actual reading those kind of things for years.
Yeah, I read a lot of biographies too. I read Slash and I read a bunch of the music ones. I read 2 different Pink Floyd ones, but that's because, well. Steve, you read?
I don't read like I wish I could. I grab books every once in a while. We'll go to the library, and I grab a lot of financial books actually, and I just never get to them.
That seems
I need to read
right.
more, but I'm on the phone a lot. I'm not on my phone a lot, but I do a lot of reading on the phone, and that's pretty much where I'm reading on a daily basis, just because it's just some more convenient than having a book, needing some light on, and just having to carry. Yeah, you get my point. Need to read more. Though.
Okay. Brian, let's go, man. Arizona playing Cincinnati tonight. You like the total in this game. It's set at 9.5. Which way do we go?
Yeah, this is a game that they're going to have some weather conditions in Cincinnati. It's supposed to have thunderstorms at 1 o'clock, which is roughly about the same time they're going to be playing. So, but it shouldn't last long. It's 34% chance. So there may be some rain delays here, which may have some effect. But I take a look at this game, and there's a few things here that I look for. Number one is both pitchers have problems putting runners on base from the walk. Hunter Green, 10.9, Bumgarner, 8, which isn't bad. But you've got a team in Cincinnati that's got some guys on this team that do take a lot of pitches. Tommy Pham, Joey Votto, and Mike Moustakas are all over 10% in the walk category. When you take a look at Arizona, their entire team is built on guys taking walks. They don't have a single guy in their lineup that doesn't take walks on a regular basis, one of the guys that play pretty much every day. So a lot of people will look at the stats and see that Arizona's offense hasn't done that great, but they continue to win, and the reason they win is because they put guys on base. And when you've got these two pitchers going, Hunter Green and Madison Bumgarner, it's a situation for me that the only quality spot they have, if you take a look at the StatCast numbers, is Hunter Green's strikeout percentage at 29.1. He just tremendous fastball. Problem is he plays in a stadium which gives up a lot of home runs and a lot of scoring, and that is the concern here for these two guys on the mound. Bumgarner does have basically 4 pitches he goes by, so that does help a little bit. But Hunter Green, 52% of his pitches are four seam, and 41% are sliders. So basically, he's a 2-pitch pitcher pitching in an environment that is really good for the hitters. So I don't like this at all from a number standpoint, other than playing the over. And the only concern, obviously, would if it doesn't go the full game, you get your money back. But maybe first 5 might work out a little bit better. But with teams that will take the walk against pitchers who are willing to walk, and you got that long history here in Cincinnati of a lot of offense, and especially up this year, I like this game to go over the total.
Yeah, Brian, the Reds, got off to that terrible 3-19 start. They actually did not even have the worst record in the NL until this weekend again, when the Nationals beat them 3 out of 4. The Nationals were behind them, and the Royals still actually have the worst record. So Cincinnati has picked things up a bit, surprisingly. I want to ask you real quick, you mentioned about the weather, and this is something I've always gone back and forth on as a baseball handicapper. When there could be a potential delay, or say there is a 1 or 2 hour delay, any opinion on how that affects things? Do you think that makes it a lower scoring game? Does that affect the starting pitchers? Anything you've ever done over the years when you're handicapping games like that?
Yeah, obviously it affects the starting pitchers, because if you do have a long rain delay, they won't be coming back. I'm not enamored with either one of these starters right now, so I don't think that's a big deal. Now, if you did have a couple of aces on the mound, that would be something to take into account in that regard, because if there is rain, you might not get your full 100 pitches whatever you're going to get out of those starters. So, yeah, that's something you always got to take into account. But there was earlier reports that the game may be rained out. I don't think it's going to be rained out. I think they're going to play it, and it just may be some rain delays in it.
Bryan Leonard, everyone. Guys, it is $9 Mondays. Bryan, what do you got going for the clients?
I got nothing. It's a small card today. The game that I just spoke of is probably my best play, is the over in the Cincinnati game. But the hockey game, I lean with the favorite, but not enough to make it a play. No basketball today and limited number of baseball. So I know it's $9 Monday, and we'd love to give something out for only $9, but I just couldn't find anything to do it. So I'm passing today. And it's unfortunate because I had a really good day yesterday, 4-0, but wanted to come back and play something today. Just couldn't find it.
Hey, integrity, my friend. That is part of what we do. The Astros playing the Mariners. Houston is favored -151. How are we betting this game?
Well, that's the deal here. Is I sent this down overnight, and Steve will back me up on this because he gets caught by this the same way. I like Houston at 151. Well, when you go to bed, you wake up the next day, that number's not there. I'm seeing as high as 170 in this game. Lean Houston, not enough to play it at this number. But like I said, it's a limited amount of games today. We have to have something to talk about. But I really like Christian Javier. This is a guy that Houston's pitching today. You take a look at his StatCast numbers, other than exit velocity, which is poor. In fact, it's even worse for Robbie Ray. But he's got red numbers across the board, and that's really what you're looking for. Is he's a guy that just does not get a lot of opportunities to start because Houston's had such a good starting staff. But now with one of the guys that were in the starting rotation going to the injured list, he's getting a chance, and I think he's going to stay here the rest of the year. He was very good last year. He's being very good this year. You take a look at his expecting batting average, 201. Strikeout percent, 31.5. This is a guy who doesn't get ace potential in the betting markets, but when he pitches, he's a very good pitcher. Robbie Ray was great last year. He hasn't done it this year. The only thing he's good at is his strike percentage, 27.1 K percentage, but he just has not been the same. And I talked about the exit velocity, 90.9, hard hit rate, 40.5. That's not good. And especially when you consider he's going to a better stadium than what he pitched in last year. This is disappointing numbers for Robbie Ray. So I like Houston here, but the line has gotten a little bit out of hand. One thing I like about Houston is when you take a look at the hitters on their team, they're all quality hitters, just about all the way down the lineup. Unfortunately, Seattle, Ty France has been really good this year. J.P. Crawford's been good, but a good J.P. Crawford is slightly better than average in Major League Baseball, but he's a good shortstop. But the Houston Astros are the better team here, and they just rewarded Jordan Alvarez for a nice deal. And he's coming out. He's just having a tremendous. He could be one of the top 5 best all-around hitters in baseball. And when you've got him in lineup along with Hal Tucker and Brantley's always really good, and Altuve, that's a tough team to beat. You're getting them at home. I like the Astros, although the line has surpassed what I would give it out for at this point.
Yeah. Kawhi Leonard, Robbie Ray. The grass is not always greener on the other side of the border. Anyway, I got to tell you guys something, and Brian, I wanted you to be on here to listen to this. It's humorous. So we're a very large company, WagerTalk Media. We own WagerTalk, we own the Gold Sheet, we own Sports Memo. We have, a head office in Detroit, lots of different staff. We have technologists that work full-time for us. This is a legitimate corporation, production team, et cetera, et cetera. We get about 20 applications a week from people who are looking for jobs. And keep them coming, guys. Listen, we hire people. We look through these resumes, and we're always looking to hire people. But I want to make a suggestion. If you email us, my name is John. I have 30 years of experience in the sports betting world, and I think I can be instrumental to your team. Please call me at a phone number. It's just not going to work. It's not going to work. Whoever is sending us applications without resumes, writing grammatically incorrect sentences, putting their first name only on the bottom, not leaving a phone number, writing one sentence about what they could do for us. Come on, guys. It's not gonna work. If you want to work for a professional company, apply in a professional manner. That's all I wanted to say. It's so humorous. I mean, Brian, I don't know, and Steve, when the last time you guys applied for a job somewhere, but I mean, I can read this stuff and it's unbelievable. We get stockbrokers. I've been a stockbroker for 30 years. Hire me, Steve. Yeah, we're on it.
What's this job thing you're talking about? I'm unfamiliar with.
Brian, I think what's the over/under, Brian, on you for a resume? Mine's probably 25 plus years. Yours is 30 that you've done a resume.
When you own your own company, right, and there's going to be a 30-year block in your resume, you don't even bother with it. It's like, what have you been doing for the last 30 years? Yeah, gambling on sports. I mean, what are they going to do? Are they going to hire me for that? Or but I got to say, Prez, one thing that irritates the hell out of me is on Twitter when somebody comes by and they're trying to give you a bad time and they cannot even spell the words. They will say, "You're an idiot," and they spell "you're" wrong. It just, I never understood this.
Yeah, right.
Just annoys the hell out of me.
One that we got. Here's one that we got yesterday. No names. Thank you for your time. I was hoping you would consider me to. I was hoping you would consider adding me to your stable of handicappers, and the name of the person. Yeah, we're considering it right now. Anyway, we're going to take a quick break. We're right back with Steve's Big Game Breakdown. Jimmy Adams, Art DiCesare. Brian, I love you, man. You're the best. See you later, man. Thanks for coming.
WagerTalk and Sports Memo customers love $9 Mondays, where each package is just $9. For a limited time from June 1st until June 7th, we're offering a 30-day all-access pass from your favorite handicapper for $210. That's only $7 per day. This special includes all daily plays from your favorite handicapper every day for 30 days, including 5% plays normally priced at $39 alone. Use coupon code June30, good for multiple uses at WagerTalk and Sports Memo. Once you sign up, you'll get every play sent to you as soon as they post it.
It's time for a little big game breakdown. Monday, June 6th, MLB style, right here on WagerTalk Today on WagerTalk TV. A quick reminder, hit subscribe when you're watching WagerTalk Today or any show here on this network. We're getting so close to 100,000 viewers. Thank you for the support as always. Like, subscribe, and comment below. And let's look at a free play for Monday Night Baseball. It's a late game at 9:38 Eastern, Monday night on the West Coast. We're going to go with the Boston Red Sox. And look, I don't mind playing on the Red Sox. Excellent current form. They've won 4 straight, 5 of their last 7. But this is more of a play against the LA Angels for me. And, you know, we talk financials. We talk Bitcoin, stocks, stonks occasionally here on the shows. And one thing I'll use as a reference from that world, and that's catching a falling knife. You know, when a stock is down 80%, it's more likely to be now 90% before you blink an eye. Well, the Angels are the epitome right now of a falling knife. 11 straight losses. And it's not a coincidence. Their offense has been ice cold. This team has 8 hits or less in all the last 6 games. They've had 7 or less in 4 or 5 of those 6 games. Single-digit hits now in 9 of their last 11 during this 11-game losing streak. Their offense is just not hitting the ball. So the question becomes, do we have a catalyst, a turning point tonight? I don't think so. First of all, they're favored. There's no way I'm laying juice with the team on an 11-game losing streak. And then second of all, they're traveling back cross-country from an East Coast road trip at New York and Philadelphia. Now, they did play the day game yesterday, so a couple extra hours to get back home, I guess, but they've been gone for over a week. This is a negative in general when handicapping basketball, hockey, baseball, any sport you're looking at. When a team's been gone for a week plus, they have a lot of distractions when they get home. Now being on an 11-game losing streak, I don't think that's going to help matters any. And I have no problem backing the Red Sox. Excellent offensive form, the exact opposite of the Angels. The Red Sox have put up 7 runs or more in 3 of their last 4. They've won all 4 of those games, as I mentioned. 27 runs over the last 4 games. 3-game road sweep at Oakland this past weekend. Quick trip to Anaheim. So you have a situation where the road team is traveling only about 3, 4, 5 hours to get to this game, whereas the home team is traveling cross-country on an 11-game losing streak. Everything lines up tonight. If you're going to play it, there's only one way, and that's the Boston Red Sox. You can get them as a nice plus 105, maybe even money. This line is dropping. Opened as high as $1.15 overnight, now down to even money. But the Red Sox are still the only way to play this game. I'd play it action. Don't even have to worry about the listed starters. That game goes at 9:38 Monday night. A little big game breakdown for you. Quick reminder, it is $9 Monday at WagerTalk.com. That includes all plays from Monday, baseball, of course, and hockey. But don't forget, NBA Finals Game 3 is this Wednesday, and I do have a rare 5% best bet loaded right now. It's normally $35, but it's just $9 if you get it today or tonight on Monday, backed by a 33-1 super situation. NBA playoffs, Steve Merrill, WagerTalk.com.
Yeah, baby, Steve. They call you, pitch man Steve Merrill in the chat room. And you know what? Wear it well, Steve, because we're not a bottled entity. We don't have ingredients available to everybody. If we don't pitch, we don't sell. Jackie Morris writes, been watching the show for a month. Prez, you're right. Best sports talk show ever. Jackie, I think I'm not even making it. I believe this is the best sports betting show on the planet. I believe that. I look at the guests we bring on, 3 guests a day, different sports. I look at the fact that every show you're laughing. What sports betting show out there are you laughing? You either love me or you hate me. Either way, there's an emotion involved. You have Teddy around, Steve Merrill around. Yeah, Jackie, I am with you, man. This is the best damn sports betting show ever. Steve, Connor McDavid has to score tonight. Minus 105. I'm going to ask Art what he thinks. Jimmy Adams joining us. Jimbo Adams with the Pat Riley hairdo. What is going on?
What's going on, Prez? How you doing, Steve? Good to see you guys today.
Jimmy.
Well, nice to have you with us, brother. $9 Mondays. Why don't you tell us right off the bat what you got going for our clients?
One top play today. Obviously a short card. So one play in baseball for just $9. Been on a hell of a run. 8-1 last 9, 20-6 last 26, and 6 straight 5% plays. Today's play is not a 5% play, but just some of the great stats we've been on, and we'll look to continue it tonight.
Jimmy, Steve's going to ask you the follow-up questions. Reds and Diamondbacks. Bryan Leonard likes the over. What do you like?
So, I'll take a look at the side in this game and look towards the underdog D-backs. The D-backs have been kind of interesting because they've been scoring a lot of runs in the games they've been winning, and the offense has been completely stagnant in the games they've been losing. 8 and 6 runs their last 3 wins. So that being said, tonight's game is a game that they can win. They can absolutely hit Hunter Green. Hunter Green at 6.19 ERA, and his FIP is right in line with that at 6.11. So it's not like this is a guy that's been unlucky or hasn't had things go his way. He's just a guy on my personal fade list. He's been knocked around for 5 and 4 runs in his last 2 starts, and the Reds have lost 7 of the past 8 games in which he's taken the mound. Madison Bumgarner, he's an average pitcher. I'm not going to get on here and try and sell you on how great Mad Bum is. It's a long way away from 2015. But he's a serviceable guy. He allowed 2 earned runs and 6 in his last start, so he can definitely go out there and keep the D-backs in the game. Also worth noting is the fact that the Reds have the second worst bullpen in all of baseball in terms of ERA. So if for some reason the D-backs don't get to Hunter Green, then there's a bullpen for him to light up. So at an underdog price, the D-backs definitely worth a look tonight, in my opinion.
Yeah, I talked about this briefly with Brian, Jimmy, that the Reds are actually starting to play again as they were the worst team in baseball at that 3-19 start. I think they went 1-20 out of 21 there in late April, early May. They are playing a little harder, but still a really bad team. But I want to ask you about Bumgarner. You mentioned that he's serviceable, and I agree. This is a guy that's definitely a little bit over the hill, but was one of the greats, probably a Hall of Fame pitcher when it's all said and done. This guy gave up 1 run exact in his first 6 starts each outing, 5 innings in most of those. He's given up 2 or more in each of his last 5. He's given up 3 or more in 3 of those 5. What's your take on Bumgarner going forward? What are you looking for if maybe he becomes a fade guy at some point this season? Any indicators that you keep an eye on?
Yeah, so Mad Bum is actually most likely going to be a fade pitcher for me going forward. I thought he'd be a fade pitcher coming into the season. The problem with this game is Hunter Green is more of a fade pitcher. Bumgarner has a FIP, and his analytics suggest that he's going to regress and he's going to actually be a little bit worse than his overall stats would indicate. So I won't be looking to bet on Mad Bum very often. This is just a rare circumstance where we have a short slate and Hunter Green is just more of a fade guy.
Jimmy Adams, everybody, exclusive handicapper at WagerTalk.com. Jimmy, Toronto's on the road coming off of a loss. They're playing Kansas City. Daniel Lynch on the mound. I mean, talk about struggling. 8.31 ERA, 2.15 whip over his last 3 starts. Man, I wouldn't want to face the Jays. Their bats have come alive. This guy could just be rocked tonight. How do we bet this game?
Yeah, you nailed it, Prez. I mean, this is the Blue Jays offense we've been waiting for all season. Am I right? I mean, these guys are finally starting to hit the baseball like we thought they would coming into the season, and it is great to see. They've now won 9 of 11, and of those wins, they've only scored less than 6 runs 1 time, so they are knocking the face off the baseball right now. I'm going to obviously recommend, well, not obviously, but I'm going to recommend a run line on play on this game. I don't like laying this kind of juice, so I'll go there. Ross Stripling, he's making kind of a spot start, if you will, for tonight. He's taken the place of Hyun-Jin Ryu, who's dealing with a minor injury. But Stripling hasn't pitched very bad. His FIP is a full run lower than his ERA. He's got a 3.30 FIP. So he's got a good strikeout to walk ratio. He's got 29 Ks and just 8 walks on the season. And you mentioned that the Blue Jays are a bet-on team right now, where the Royals are certainly a bet-against team as well. Loses a 6-7. Daniel Lynch was just knocked around for 6 earned runs, in his latest start in just 4 innings. He's given up at least 4 earned runs in 2 of his last 3 starts. Lynch has also had trouble with walks. He's got 20 walks in 43 innings pitched. And you heard me just mention the poor bullpen ERA of the Reds. Well, KC's right there. KC, the 3rd worst ERA in all of baseball from their bullpen. So Blue Jays all the way on the run line for me tonight.
Nicely done, Jimmy Adams. Well, I don't know what is behind you, man. You like some kind of weird nature lover? Not that nature lovers are weird. I don't know why I said that.
So my buddies and I rented out this house, so it's just the decor that came with the house. Yeah, that's all.
Okay, because I'm like looking there going, this is not very masculine. Maybe it is. Maybe you're a hunter.
Yeah, it's kind of out in the country, and I think the homeowners like to hunt, so they got some artwork and stuff like that. But it's just random decor, man. I'm not an interior designer. I don't really care.
Dude, I get it, man. I hunt for winners every day. I don't like to kill living things, but I get it. Jimmy Adams, everyone. Steve, sometime this week I want to know if you're a hunter, because you are, to me, one of the most American people I've ever met in my life. You're a flag waving, national anthem singing. You are the epitome of an American. I wouldn't be surprised if your dad fought in the war.
And my dad actually did feed the war. No, I never hunted. I've got cousins and
Seriously?
relatives are big hunters. Yeah, my dad wasn't a hunter. That's got to be in the family. My dad wasn't a country guy, but I've got a ton of relatives on the other side that hunt and stuff. It's just never been something I've gotten into. But yeah, you're right. Otherwise you'd be spot on, Prez. It would have been a money line favorite bet. Art would have booked that. I would have been money line favorite to definitely shoot up some animals, but it's just not something I have time for, basically. But not against it.
Yeah, I guarantee you Art has never killed an animal in his life. Art DiCesare, am I wrong?
No shot. You couldn't get me to hunt. I wouldn't even go fishing.
Yeah.
I don't
I'm
really
with
fish
you,
either.
dude.
I'm kind of with you there. I'm not into that stuff.
Yeah.
I appreciate nature, though.
Fishing makes no sense to me. You just stand there.
Prez, you do not have the personality for fishing. And I really don't either. I'm more mellow than you, it might appear, but I don't exactly like sitting around for hours. I'm pretty busy as well. So, yeah, fishing's kind of out for me for that reason.
Shit.
Yeah. Now, if we could fish while on the wave runners, Prez, on the wave runners going 30, 40 miles an hour and just drag the line, it might work for me, but,
I'm all about hydrofoiling right now. Art DiCesare joining us. Art, I missed you last Monday. Sorry about that. How you been? What's going on in your world?
Oh, not much, fellas. Pleasure to be here as always. Yeah, I mean, it was a holiday weekend, and people need to take a little bit of break. It was actually nice for me to get a little bit of break, so I was all about it.
Yeah. Steve, get some actionable info out of this man.
Yeah, Art, I just, we got NBA Finals a couple of days away, but it's our one chance to talk to you about it this week. I mentioned earlier, at least from what I was seeing, like the public consensus was on Golden State in both games 1 and 2. I know you guys in Vegas probably get more California money than Boston money, so maybe it's not a barometer of the nation overall. But what have been your thoughts so far on games 1 and 2, and how the money's been coming in, and how you think that's going to apply to maybe game 3?
Yeah, Steve, I heard you talking about it. I think kind of what we've seen from the first 2 games is it's been a lot of Golden State money. There's been good over money too. I think people are they want to bet overs. That's just how it is. Obviously, that's a public thing. That is never going to be a wise guy or a sharp play. They're more going to be looking to take an under. And obviously, in game 1, the total moved a couple of points. Game 2, not much. And then even game 1, there was really only a 1-point adjustment. We opened game 1 3. It opened 3.5 or closed 3.5. And then game 2 was 4. But I know you were talking about the series price, and I think the series price is really interesting. Obviously, we have it minus 110 flat both ways. I think a lot of that is because you just can't make Golden State plus money. I understand Boston. Now, Boston's got a great fan base too. The Celtics are one of those legendary franchises who has fan base and people want to bet them. But even though Boston has taken back home court advantage, they did what they had to do in Oakland, stealing a game. You can't put Golden State at plus money because you're just going to get too much money coming in on Golden State. So for us, hey, let's just see what happens in this game 3. We'll let the series price be flat, and then we'll kind of let the market go where it goes. And if we have to adjust, we'll adjust. But we can't sit there with Golden State, plus 110, plus 115, plus 120, even though maybe that's where it should be. So that's why you see the minus 110 on both sides.
Yeah, Art, I'm glad you brought that up because I was going to ask you about player props, how much action you're getting on that here versus maybe regular season, but also how much action do you get on these adjusted series prices versus the pre-series price before game 1? Is there going to be a lot of action that might move this line? And also tell me about the props as well.
Yeah, so, props for us in an NBA playoff game, we'll do 10, maybe 20 props. NBA Finals way different. We'll get into the 30, 40 prop range. Props are obviously a little bit more specialty. We have talked a lot about props on my time being on this show. I think people are getting more and more into the props, and I think when you look at something like the NBA Finals where it's obviously a bigger stage and there's not a lot going on, right? I mean, obviously you only got a hockey game or 2 a day, baseball. So you will get more in the NBA props and you will see more, but it isn't where it is where I think it will get in the next 5 or so years. And that series adjusted line is one of those interesting ones. We don't take a ton on it. I think some people either are just scared to take it because you got to get something in an exact game. But I always tell people, that's a fun option. If you just like to zero in on a team and then all of a sudden you're like, hey, I like Golden State. They're going to end up winning in 6. Well, you can get Golden State to win in 6 at plus 450. Like, there are other ways to go. Or, hey, Boston will go to Golden State and win game 7. They've proven they can win there. Well, you get that at plus 550. So there's a lot of different ways to go when you have that exact series price. Yeah. It doesn't get a ton of action, but there are some people who like to play it.
Art DiCesare joining us. Art, we're going to talk hockey in a sec, but here's just an all-encompassing question. You've been in this industry for a while. What new trend, so to speak, has really stood out to you? Because for us, we got in-game betting. We got all these prop bets that people are making on a regular basis. There's more first quarter bets than ever before. Are there more parlays? Is it Korean baseball? What trend is happening in the industry that you are noticing and it just stands out?
Well, I think I don't want to call them niche things because they're not, because they're growing. But things we just talked about, props are growing. I've seen the growth in props over the last 5 years. I think in-game betting and the bigger menu that is being offered as far as in-game betting goes. There's a lot of times where I've seen, we didn't do a lot of NHL in-game betting. Now these playoffs during intermission, we're putting up a line. And I understand that's for a playoff game, but, a couple of years ago, I worked at places where once an NHL game started, that was it. No in-game betting. Forget about it. So, and that's even including playoff hockey. So now the fact that you're even saying, hey, in an intermission, let's put up an in-game bet. I just think those things are growing. Parlays are always going to be popular. Parlays are just, they move the needle, especially football, the parlay and the teaser cards. Have they gone up or
down? Has it been static?
I think they've gone up, Prez. I think that just
more
the parlay card, yeah, especially during football. When we put out parlay cards, man, people just go and grab those because there's so many different parlay cards that are offered. There are teaser cards, big teaser, reverse teaser. There's just so many cards that are offered. It's just not a one parlay type card anymore. During a football Saturday and Sunday, you're offered maybe 4, 5, 6 different options with different payouts and different spreads and different totals. So that to me is growing. But I think just the way we're going to see props and in-game kind of explode over the next couple of years, that's the thing that I'm looking for and seeing where that's going to go.
Yeah. Guys, Jeffrey Moore, one of our most loyal listeners ever, says if we went to Texas to fish, it would be fast-paced and exciting.
Dynamite.
I'm going with hell no. I mean, yeah. Fast-paced and exciting
fishing is impossible. Yeah, you can't have. I would love some Texas barbecue right now, actually.
I'm in for Texas barbecue. But fast-paced fishing. That's an
oxymoron.
What is it?
No
an oxymoron? A paradox? Yeah.
Called Prez
live on
ESPN
tonight, the World Championship of Fast-Paced Fishing, coming to you out of Texas, where they have been sitting on a boat for the last 12 hours doing nothing. It might bite. It might not. It bit! We have a bite. Come back in 6 hours to see how the person reels it in. Art, what do we do in this hockey game tonight? Edmonton, well, they're finished, but they might get this one in. I don't know, man. Colorado with Kadri getting hit. They're pissed. They want to end this tonight. Over, under, what's going on in this game?
Prez, there has been no action or real movement on it. We opened Colorado minus 120. It's not even moved a nickel. It's minus 124 now. So just a little bit of movement. I think the interesting thing is, obviously after the game one overreaction of all those goals, you saw totals of 7 and 2 and 3. Now we've gone back to the 6.5. 6.5, still got to pay a nice number on the over at minus 135, but it has gone back to 6.5. But, if Edmonton's down 2 goals in the third period, they might have no goalie for 8 minutes. You never know what happens here. And I did hear you mention, what do we think about McDavid to score at minus 105? He scored in game 1. He scored in game 3. He didn't score in game 2 because they got shut out. I think to bet McDavid at a price like that to score in any game is worth it.
Yeah, I agree with you as well. Jeffrey Moore caught 100 fish in 3 hours. Jeffrey, come on, man. It takes at least a minute to get the fish, 2 minutes to get the fish off. That's 3 minutes.
He had a big
you
net.
Have 180 minutes. The math doesn't even work, dude.
Is that even fun?
What do you got to promote?
Like always, guys. I know we're kind of in the down period, but NBA Finals is still rocking. We'll get the cup going here in a week, and baseball in full swing. And then, guys, football's right around the corner, man. I mean, we're less than 2 months away from the Hall of Fame game, so just come down to the SuperBook. If you need any help, we got all the NFL stuff out there. We got weeks 1 through 18 with all point spreads, all the type of future stuff you want to bet. Yes, no on playoffs, over, under, Super Bowl. Come down, get signed up for the app, and, get yourself prepared for the upcoming NFL season.
Love it. Art DiCesare, everyone, and he'll be with us all the way through this NFL season as well. Steve, it's time for the daily presidential address. Let's go. All right, what a show, guys. If you're watching this on Twitter, make sure to check out WagerTalk Today. We had Jimmy Adams on talking baseball. We had Bryan Leonard on talking baseball. Art DiCesare, of course, joined us. We gave you guys advice about how to apply for a job as well. You should check that out. Steve talked about Bitcoin, and we mentioned fishing and hunting too. Anyway, it's Monday, so on Mondays, we're doing our rollover bet. I'm going to give you guys one bet. I'm putting $20 on this bet. If it wins tomorrow, we take all that money and roll it over. We try get all the way through to Friday, get $10 to turn into $640. I think that's the math. I'm tired. Anyway, our bet tonight, Cleveland in the MLB. That's the Cleveland Guardians in the MLB. Also, guys, it's $9 Mondays. I have both the side and total up in NHL, and I have one baseball bet. I am positive on the baseball season and have been on a great NHL run since December 1st. Other than that, I know I normally have shawarmas on Tuesday, but it's shawarma Monday today. Steve Merrill, take us home.
Yeah, Prez, great show on Monday, and we'll do it again tomorrow on Tuesday. Same time, same channel, noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific, Monday through Friday, Wager Talk Today, live here on Wager Talk TV, but more importantly, archived 24/7 for your viewing pleasure. MLB first pitch, 1:45 Eastern today and every day. Also, NBA playoff talk at 4:15 Eastern here on the network as well. Like, subscribe, and comment below. Prez and I read the comments and we reply back. We appreciate the support. Thanks to Bryan Leonard, Jimmy Adams. I almost called him Bryan Adams. Bryan Leonard, Jimmy Adams, and Arthur DiCesare. WagerTalk.com, $9 Monday, including all those big 5% plays as well. Steve Merrill, Prez, and Dan back at the studio. We'll be back tomorrow, noon Eastern, right here on Wager Talk TV. Thanks for watching, everyone. Good luck tonight.
Each and every Monday is $9 Monday at both WagerTalk.com and SportsMemo.com, when all daily picks packages are priced at only $9, including 5% best bets, normally priced at $35. As an added bonus, any picks packages loaded early for Overnight Tuesday or action during the week will also be priced at $9 until midnight on Monday. So make sure to take advantage of getting these $25 and $35 picks for only $9 before the clock strikes 12 and they return to regular price.